Welcome to another edition of SoCal Scents Top 10 2023 fragrances. All the new fragrances that come out this year, I'm going to put it into my personal top 10. I will give some honorable mentions, and I'll talk about why they're honorable mentions. It didn't quite crack the top 10, but these are going to be my top 10. Now, in the comments below, I want you to tell me what your top 3 fragrance releases are for this year. So tell me what were your 3 most favorite releases from 2023. Now, I wrote a list for my honorable mentions. So let's go over the honorable mentions real quick. So these are actually all fragrances I rock with. I think they're great. I think you'll smell amazing wearing them. And yeah, starting off, we'll do Chrome Parfum. Then we have Boss the Scent Magnetic. And then new brand came out this year is called Intelligent. And I'm going to give 3 honorable mentions for Intelligent Iron, Argon, and Silver. From Goldfield and Banks, we have Ingenious Ginger. I almost put that one in the top 10, but there was another fragrance that I just got that knocked it out for me. Boss Bottled Elixir. I am actually wearing Boss Bottled Elixir right now. Do really like the scent. I know some people had it as their #1 fragrance of the year. I still think it's great, but I didn't wear it enough to justify me putting it in my personal top 10. Awakened Distilled by Tumi. Now, this one, it deserves to be in my top 10. The only reason it's not in my top 10 is because it only comes in 1 bottle size right now, and I don't want to buy the big bottle, so I'm waiting for it to come into a smaller bottle size. But Awakened Distilled is probably one of my top 5, to be real honest with you. But I'm going to put an honorable mention just because I did not buy the bottle yet. And Gentleman's Society by Givenchy. Lacoste Blanc Eau Intense, and Rouse Club's Elixir, which I have on this hand right now. And Rouse Club's Elixir is great. And one last honorable mention, and I actually had it in my top 10 for like the last hour of me putting this together, and then I finally took it out, and that was How Was Ice. I just took it out because I warned the others just a little bit more, and I wanted to showcase a little bit more variety, but this one also rocks. All right, getting into the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is Coach Green. Now, Coach Green came out. It is a kiwi fragrance base. It's basically kiwi is what you get, kiwi and apple, and it's super easy to wear. Some people have compared it to like Sauvage and Carbon, but honestly, the kiwi sets it apart from those. I think it was just a super easy to wear fragrance that'll work for many different ages, and it's just a grab and go. And honestly, I use it as a grab and go, and that's why I'm putting it at number 10. At number 9, now this fragrance in particular is Elysium Eau Intense. So this is the sequel to Elysium. Now, I am putting this in my top 10 because I live in Los Angeles. We have weird weather where it's pretty much warm year round, and like today was a fall day. It's December 15th and it was 76 degrees today. This just kind of works for all those in-between times when it's not quite too hot, not quite too cold. You just want something fresh. This really works for me, and the lime and rhubarb in it is different, and that's why I like it. I know a lot of people will like the original Elysium more than this one, but this one just kind of works for me. So that's why I'm putting it at number 9. Because I wore this quite a bit, and I did get quite a few compliments from it, but goes in at number 9. Number 8. Hugo Boss kind of knocked it out of the park this year. They had 3 really good releases. They had Hugo Boss the Scent Magnetic, Boss Bottled Elixir, and the one that made the top 10 for me is actually Hugo Jeans Man. This is a casual fragrance. So this is one you just grab and go, spray, smell good. Like you don't have to think about it, and you're going to smell fresh and clean. And this one is excellent for that. This is an excellent casual grab and go, running errands, don't know what to wear type of situation fragrance. Hugo Jeans Man comes in at number 8. Yeah, this is the only casual fragrance I have on the list, and it's a great casual fragrance. Okay, that's 10, 9, 8, 7. I have 1 Million Royal. So this one I debated about moving higher up, but then I realized I was like, you know what? There's another fragrance that came out that's a cold weather fragrance that I wore just a little bit more. So I'm going to keep this at 7, even though I think this is awesome. This one smells like Nestle Quick to me. I wore it last week and I got like 3 or 4 different compliments on the single time that I wore it last week. And I was like, holy crap, people think I smell really, really good with this. I had just sprayed it, so it was probably fresh in the air. But 1 Million Royal is probably my favorite 1 Million out right now. And yeah, this is coming in at number 7. I can't count. Number 6. This is going to be a love for many people, and it's going to be oh, that smells too feminine for many people, and that is Myself by Yves Saint Laurent. Now, this fragrance, I think, is 100% unisex. I think a guy can wear it, I think a girl can wear it, but I definitely think it leans masculine. It's a fresh floral fragrance, essentially. It's good. I like it. Super easy to wear. Everyone around you is going to think you smell really clean, really professional. And that's kind of why I like it. It's just, you don't have to think much about it. And whenever you can have a fragrance where you can just throw on and not think much about it, it's going to be a good fragrance to wear for many different situations. And that is Myself by YSL. All right. Coming in number 5 is going to be Ocean Eau de Parfum. Now, this one is actually going as a number 5 for I like it. But I'm dedicating this one to Luke Baker. So Luke, I introduced this to him, and as we all know, Luke is obsessed with Prada Black, and he became immediately obsessed with this one too. He thought this was his daytime scent to Prada Black as his nighttime scent. Now, I do like this one quite a bit. I don't compare it to the original Ocean because I think that is an entirely different fragrance. So this should have been named something else, but it is a really good scent. I would totally have named it something different. I do prefer the original Ocean over this one, but it's a really, really good, easy to wear fragrance. It's best for the fall, winter, and spring, and that tended to be what was standing out this year amongst releases, were the fragrances that were the warm, fresh fragrances, fall, winter, spring fragrances. Prada Ocean Eau de Parfum, you had Born Roma Intense, you had Ingenious Ginger, you had Rouse Club Elixir, you had Gentleman's Society. There was a lot that sat in that fall, winter, spring range. And this was one of them, and I really enjoyed this one. All right, coming into number 4. So my number 4 is a lot of people's number 1s. And if you told me that was your number 1, I'd be like, you're going to smell awesome with it, and I think it's great. I would have no objections to that anywhere near. I wouldn't have any objections to any of your fragrances. But for me, it's in number 4 because it's harder for me to wear in the climate that I'm in. And that is Male Elixir. This is great. It smells good. It's vanilla, honey, lavender. It smells really sexy. It's sweet. But I do live in a climate where I can't wear this one as often as other people can, so that is why I'm putting it in number 4. However, I do think this is one of the best releases of the year. All these in the top 10 I think are amazing, and all the honorable mentions I thought were really, really good. So just because it's my number 4 and it might be your number 1, I agree with you. I think this one is great. This is one of the best releases of the year, and this is, I'll take a little guy out. This is Male Elixir. All right. Now, what beat it was because I wore it a lot more, and that is Born Roma Intense, another one that sits in that fall, winter, spring, that warm but fresh fragrance. The added vanilla to this one, to the Born Roma DNA, I think kind of just set this one apart. This one was super easy to wear, and as you've seen in the videos, the girls really liked this fragrance in the videos. And it's just nice. It's like an easy recommendation. I can easily recommend this to someone, go, hey, you're going to smell pretty good with this. Or Born Roma is probably one of the most asked about fragrances on the channel, and Born Roma and Born Roma Intense. And I honestly tell people, I'm like, just get the one that you vibe with the most, because all of them smell pretty good. But that one I have been vibing with the most from the entire line this year. So it comes in at number 3. Now my number 2 is something that, when I talk about luxury fragrances and buying a luxury fragrance, It needs to spark joy when you smell it. I don't think you should buy a luxury fragrance if it doesn't spark immediate joy the second you smell it. And this one, the very first one I ever tried from this line, did that, and I immediately bought it. And this one smells like a cousin to it. And that is Pacific Chill by Louis Vuitton. This one smells like happiness to me. It's fresh, it's invigorating. It smells good. Anytime I've worn it, people think I've smelled amazing wearing it. I live on the West Coast. I live near the Pacific Coast Highway. It just feels invigorating, and it makes me really, really happy. So anytime I've worn this, and I've worn this quite a bit, I've gone through 2 decants of it, and then or 2 samples that they give you, plus whatever I've had in the bottle. And I've taken it to travel with me, and it literally just puts me in a good mood. And I think anybody can wear it, and it's really great. Now here we're all waiting for my most anticipated number 1. It's not my most anticipated, but it's my number 1 fragrance of the year. And this is actually by a lot. This is my clear winner, and that is Tumi 19 Degrees. Let's see if the camera can focus that. There we go. Okay. So if you guys have been following my lives, I actually tried this about 4 months before it came out, and I tried it and I talked about it on the live. This fragrance, when I tried it, the Tumi rep had just come to the store and they gave them Awakened Distilled, and they gave them samples of that, but they gave them a little teeny decant of a fragrance that wasn't announced yet, which was 19 Degrees, and they sprayed it for me. It's fantastic. I was like, oh man, I don't think I've smelled really anything like this at the time. Now, what this fragrance will remind you of is because of one note, and that note is birch water. So the fragrance this closest reminds you of is going to be Aventus because of the birch water. Now, that's pretty much the only thing of Aventus that it really reminds me of is the birch water. It kind of gives you that feel of like, oh, this is different. But what sets it apart is it uses suede, black raspberry, and bergamot. Those make it really juicy, and I have worn this, and like literally for like a week straight I wore this, and the amount of attention I got from wearing this fragrance was incredible. I haven't featured it with a guest yet on the channel. I will, so come 2024, when you're watching this video, if you're watching it in the future, 2024, I'm definitely going to be featuring this with the guests, but my in-life, real-life experience of this has been stellar. Now, I got a huge decant of it, and I went through a full decant in about a week, and as soon as that week was up, I immediately bought the full bottle of it. So this is 19 Degrees by Tumi. So things it doesn't smell like, it's not a clone of Aventus. It doesn't smell like Tuscan leather. As people see raspberry leather, they're going to be like, oh, that's Tuscan leather. It doesn't smell like either of those two. The only thing that reminds me of Aventus on this is the birch water. But other than that, it's its own unique thing, and it's really nice. So if you haven't tried a Tumi 19 Degrees, it's named 19 Degrees because of the angles of the bottle. That's what their luggage looks like. I highly recommend trying it. I think 19 Degrees can be worn by any age. I think it is a versatile fragrance, just how Aventus is pretty versatile, where you can kind of wear it as a night out, a sexy date, going to a formal event, dressed up, dressed down, black t-shirt. It's a vibe. It smells great. It's my favorite fragrance of the year, by far. But every fragrance that I've mentioned today, I really, really, really enjoy. Now, what are your top 3 fragrances of the year? I want you to list them down below. Overall, I thought this year started off pretty poorly and then is slowly built up to pretty solidly. So I think some of these fragrances will be around for a while, and I think we will have some good smelling people for a long time. My wishes for next year, for 2024, I would like a new fragrance from Dolce & Gabbana that is not the one or light blue. I would like a new fragrance from, let's go, so we just did Dolce & Gabbana. I'd like Polo Black Parfum. I think that'd be great from Ralph Lauren. Obviously, we want a new Chanel fragrance. I want Mason Francis Kirkjohn's Dior fragrance. What is another brand that I would like? I'm trying to think off the top of my head, because Dolce & Gabbana hasn't had one in a long, long time, and I think we should get a good Dolce & Gabbana fragrance, because that would be great. I'd also like some more variety amongst the brands that we currently have. I think that would be nice. It'd be nice if Jean Paul Gaultier released something that wasn't Le Male. I know in Europe you get Scandal, but we don't get that here. So something from Jean Paul Gaultier that isn't Le Male based, it's its own fragrance. And I'm assuming we'll get another from the Luna Rosa line, because the Luna Rosa line is pretty popular. So Prada can totally launch another from the Luna Rosa line. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm like, you know what, that would be amazing if they released that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Dolce & Gabbana, release a new fragrance. We would really much appreciate that, because you have the 1K and light blue, and I feel like there's so much room for so more. Oh, I can't believe I was forgetting it. Versace. We need a new Versace. It has been forever since we had any kind of new Versace. So that's my hopes for 2024. Comment below your 3 favorite from this year, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. I did this all in one take. I'm going to try to very little edit it, and yeah, Merry Christmas, guys.